The Rise of Mesopotamia. Fertile Crescent and the Tigris-Euphrates. The Rise of Mesopotamia is a journey of human progress, a story of how small farming villages in the Fertile Crescent slowly developed into the world's first cities-states and empires. This incredible period of transformation spans from about 8000 to 2000 BCE. This long process created the fundamental key features of later civilization. We are talking about the first forms of writing, the earliest known law codes, massive religious buildings called great temples, and the concept of centralized kingship, all emerging in the lands between the two great rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. This is the beginning of everything we know about organized society. Geographic foundations. To understand Mesopotamia, we must look at its home. Mesopotamia literally means the land between two rivers. It lay in the alluvial plain between the mighty Tigris and the powerful Euphrates rivers. This area covers modern Iraq and extends into parts of Syria and Turkey. The land was special. Seasonal flooding was a critical element. The rivers brought down fertile silt. This silt made intensive agriculture possible, allowing farmers to grow huge amounts of food. However, this abundance came at a price. Farming here was only possible with massive irrigation systems, complex networks of canals, and highly coordinated labor. Nobody could build a huge canal system alone. This need for coordinated labor naturally encouraged the rise of stronger local leadership and forced cooperation among many villages, a crucial step toward complex government. From villages to cities. By around 8000 BCE, the very first farming communities began to exist in northern Mesopotamia. They started small and gradually spread south, following the paths of the rivers as their irrigation techniques continuously improved. The pace of change increased between roughly 5000 and 4000 BCE. Something remarkable happened. The larger settlements started to grow into proper early cities. We see names like Edo, Ur, and especially Uruk becoming powerful centers. These new cities were marked by distinct features such as monumental temples, huge towering structures, organized neighborhoods where different people lived, in early administrative buildings. These structures show that a social hierarchy was already firmly established. Urbanization and the Uruk period. The Uruk period, which lasted about the 4th millennium BCE, saw an extremely sharp and dramatic rise in urban life. Uruk itself became perhaps the largest city in the world at that time, a vast urban sprawl that required sophisticated management. This large city size created a huge administrative problem. How do you manage so many goods and so much labor? The solution was innovation. The city administrators developed clay tokens and seals for record keeping. This early system evolved into cuneiform writing. The first true writing was used almost entirely to track goods, track labor, and keep records of offerings to the gods. This development tied literacy directly to economic and religious management, creating a powerful new elite class of scribes and priests. Sumerian city-states. By the early 3rd millennium BCE, the Sumerian city-states were the dominant power. These cities such as Ur, Uruk, Lagash, Nippur, and Kish dominated the southern part of Mesopotamia. Each city was a sovereign unit centered on a main temple complex which was dedicated to its own specific patron deity. Initially, power rested with the temple priests, but this slowly shifted. Power gradually moved from religious leaders to secular kings. These kings built large palaces, led large armies, and crucially claimed divine support for their rule. They were constantly competing with other city-states for vital resources like land, water, and control over the most important trade routes. Trade, technology, and culture. The explosive rise of these great cities was utterly dependent on advances in technology. The Sumerians perfected irrigation techniques, improved plow agriculture, and developed high-level craft specialization. We see skilled artisans focused on pottery, metalworking, and textile production, which created valuable goods for trade. Long-distance trade was essential and highly organized. It linked Mesopotamia to far-off regions like Anatolia, Iran, and the Persian Gulf. This network brought in essential raw materials that Mesopotamia lacked, such as timber, stone, and precious metals. This vast trade network also spread Mesopotamian ideas about writing, law, and kingship far beyond its borders, influencing the entire ancient world. First empires and political unification. The intense rivalry and constant warfare among the Sumerian city-states eventually led to the creation of even larger political units. There were early regional hegemonies such as the First Dynasty of Lagash. The truly defining moment came around 2334 BCE. A powerful leader named Sargon of Akkad conquered nearly all the Sumerian cities. He successfully formed the Akkadian Empire. The Akkadian Empire is often considered by historians to be the first true empire in world history. Sargon unified much of Mesopotamia under a single ruling dynasty, setting a precedent for huge centralized states that would follow. Law and later Mesopotamian states. In the early 2nd millennium BCE, another powerful city rose to global prominence: Babylon. Babylon reached its peak under the famous King Hammurabi. He successfully expanded Babylonian control across the region and issued his very famous law code. This code organized justice, established property rules, and defined social order within his kingdom. It was revolutionary. These later developments built directly on the strong earlier traditions established by the Sumerian city-states. They showed clearly how the rise of Mesopotamia produced truly enduring institutions. Writing legal systems, large bureaucracies, and imperial rule. These foundations shaped all later Near Eastern and ultimately world history. From a simple farming patch on the riverbank to the world's first empire, Mesopotamia laid the blueprint for complex civilization. The story of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers is truly the story of us. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.